For those of you in the back, the cartoon says, think outside the box, and answers, you first. Second, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all those who served and are serving Canada. Merci pour votre service. I especially want to thank those who will be in uniform in the future, our daughters and sons, because as you heard it so far in the conference, warfare is only getting more complex. Third, I admit I have some reservations with the panel's title, Harnessing National Capacity for Security and Defense. So I'd like to talk about leveraging and unleashing Canada's potential. Fourth, I will be telegraphic. Now that comes to mean under 240 characters. So Einstein said we can't solve problems using the same kind of logic we used when we created them. Henceforth, a new mindset is required, which often starts by challenging our underlying assumptions. Having recently published a book entitled Synergy, I studied the outcome and the impact of the comprehensive approach. I noted fundamental management dimensions: the situational context, which determines the conditions of an issue; social culture, the level of comprehension between stakeholders; organizational structure, which determines the level of coordination; systemic processes, the level of cooperation; strategies and policies, the level of concertation, whether actors are singing together from the same sheet or not; and the synergy dynamics, that establishes the level of collaboration between stakeholders working as one. So altogether, the model is greater than the sum of its parts, but what was found is that synergy at the 5th and 6th degree really fosters collaboration. So synergy should be deliberately created and sustained, not simply left to chance in order to achieve significant value added. Now let me go through each dimension, offering fundamental thought-provoking reflections, also known as food for thought. In terms of the situation and context, we're pretty good at this dimension. In a pragmatic perspective, warfare encompasses conventional, unconventional, unrestricted, and hybrid wars. Unrestricted being a Chinese doctrine since 1999, and hybrid warfare being used in the context of a resurgent Russia. So asymmetric warfare and indirect warfare is and will be thriving, which challenges our international democratic worldviews. Hence, warfare is not only state-on-state. Conflicts indirectly involve all stakeholders. The implication is civilians are directly impacted by weapons of war. Think of cyber war. Think of terrorism that displaces millions. Think of disinformation's impact on democracy. So in a systems-of-systems perspective, we must address root causes, not simply symptoms. Our enemies include civilians in their arcs of fire, but civilians are part of the solution. As such, whole of government is not sufficient, and we need a comprehensive approach, which is much more open to contribution and collaboration with the non-governmental. In terms of society and culture, we are not good at this dimension. A comprehensive view requires a joint, integrated, multi-domain public culture. Cultural understanding is very much required in the face of 21st century challenges. We must also be open to solutions that emerge from the bottom up, from stakeholders. And for the near future, Canada needs to maintain a strong and deliberately patient strategic culture. In terms of teamwork, ongoing operations will shape transformation ongoing operations will shape transformation. Indeed, the overriding purpose of Canada's profession of arms is to conduct military ops. So if a task can be accomplished without a uniform, what's the point of being in the military? There is a whole community of veterans, families, and civilians to support the forces. Hence, CEF, joint interagency culture, must evolve. The CEF must see beyond cap badges. In order to foster more external collaboration, D&D must first nurture internal collaboration. As well, the CEF fourth generation regimen will fundamentally be challenged by time and speed, as mentioned yesterday by General Hodges. Hence, I find it quite interesting that Strong, Secure, Engage presents the CEF offer in terms of integrated deployments, not in terms of ships, regiments, flights, or squadrons. Nonetheless, it hasn't fundamentally adopted a comprehensive approach beyond the military. In terms of structure and organization, we are quite good at this dimension. We can't obviously predict the demands of the future operating environment to 2040, but we can shape our national security and global defense offer to be closer to the expected missions. Indeed, fourth generation must become aligned to force employment and with deployments. Each Canadian deployment should be joint and combined militarily, meaning that they should be based on joint task forces, including staff from the personnel to the CIMIC branch, as well as a soft plug-and-play, and integrate with Team Canada's comprehensive approach. The CJOC, for example, should consider office space for other governmental stakeholders. At present, only Global Affairs Canada plugs in at the Joint Operations Planning Group table. Moreover, Team Canada should be integrated from the outset, while in the training cycle. In fact, our Global Defense Executive Education programs should sponsor Team Canada members. Our global defense and Arctic deployed forces should have open and non-bureaucratic direct access to reach-back capabilities to operationally enable their missions, including to government departments and agencies, as well as businesses supporting them, NGOs, academia, the media, etc. In a systems perspective, we are not so good at this dimension. Paramount is the opportunity information advances offer for a much higher degree of integration among all agencies responsible for enhancing security and defense cooperation. Paradoxically, the key to success to digitization will not be technology. It will be our willingness to evolve in order to employ technology to its maximum and optimum effectiveness. Specifically, integrating learning tools and workers with their new emerging e-tools is crucial. Languages and intelligent programming, namely, could be leveraged through the civilian sector. Thus, mature specialists could be enrolled as professionals, and doctors at the rank of doctor, serving 3 years and doing real cool stuff from fourth generation onto a mission. Systems effectiveness and systemic efficiency are also required in order to achieve excellence. So we shouldn't only talk of standard operating procedures and plans, but use collaborative processes daily. Hence, defense management must be in search of excellence, and hope, of course, is not a method. In terms of strategies and policies, which we are very good at, winning may be an ambiguous concept, but conquering the moral high ground is crucial. Defense and security by themselves, however, do not offer a comprehensive response to our national interests. Indeed, through unrestricted and hybrid warfare, our adversaries try to induce disorder. Hence, ensuring strategic reflexivity and proactive defense are fundamental to our security. NATO must therefore assume leadership, proactively defending the democratic Northern World Order. And missing is a North Pacific alliance to which Canada could be a leading founding member. Canada should integrate around a national security and global defense management strategy that would serve as catalyst for greater collaboration and teamwork in Canada's interest. Such strategy should not be military-driven, but led by the Privy Council Office, including not only whole of government, but non-governmental organizations as well as private sector businesses, which now have a critical role to play directly and indirectly supporting our national security and global defense, a sort of comprehensive operating environment. At home, NORAD should leverage the information domain and communication security, as well as it should clearly assume leadership for North America's strategic cyber defenses. Moreover, NORAD should include full-spectrum defense forces and become more proactive securing our nations. And finally, in terms of synergy and dynamics, we are not good at this dimension. As a medium power, Canada must leverage its full potential for security and defense by deliberately creating and sustaining synergy in all its actions, from the tactical, technical, to the operational and strategic level, the sum of which may be greater than its parts. Beyond synchronization, synergy suggests proactive dynamics versus the usual reactive. Indeed, to ensure collaboration, we have to offer up something to start the virtuous cycle. Pushing forward liaison to most other government departments and stakeholders is key. Accepting strategic risk forward through personnel placement, resources and information intelligence sharing can go long ways toward resolving common issues, merging interests, and creating synergy. So a Canadian synergy is fundamentally required in defense and security to integrate at a higher level, including all of Canada's medium power potential, from diplomatic relations, socio-economic development, foreign assistance, aid, business, intelligence, academia, the media, you get it. So in conclusion, Winston Churchill said, "The empires of the future are the empires of the mind." To counter unrestricted and hybrid warfare is to answer why we need a synergistic approach. A Team Canada comprehensive approach becomes a quintessential security enabler, implying a shift from a closed security and defense paradigm to one open to all stakeholders. Canada must leverage its full potential, for example, by ramping up training the trainers programs, thereby creating significant value added and synergy. Thank you very much.